Do a barrel roll.
Welcome to The Know. I'm Ashley Jenkins.
And I'm Gus Sorola.
People here in the U.S. have been predicting the apocalypse thanks to the 2016 election, and it looks like the madness might already be hitting our most precious video game services.
Say it ain't so.
I know, right? This is the real problem this country faces.
PlayStation and security breach are two phrases you hoped you'd never hear again, but it looks like PSN might be running in a little bit of trouble with some type of breach in the UK.
Oh, phew. Not us.
Yeah, with interruptions of service and thousands reporting that their accounts have been compromised, and Sony might be trying to keep it all under wraps.
You thought you were safe across the pond? Think again. We're taking everyone down with us. Pretty much. This news first made its way to us from Twitter user TheRealBashy26, who sent us a note about his PSN username being hacked, resulting in his login credentials being changed and around 150 euros in PlayStation funds added to his wallet without his authorization.
Normally, one single account hack wouldn't be considered too newsworthy, especially if their avatar is a pot plant receiving oral pleasure. I gotta look this up now. Which is where the most legit sources of news always come from, except that TheRealBashy26 also noticed that this seemed to be happening on a much larger scale with tons of tweets pouring into the Ask PlayStation UK support account on Twitter.
So it's a very perceptive pot plant receiving oral pleasure. We looked into his claims and they actually might have some merit. Doesn't take more than a quick glance at both Ask PS UK's replies and mentions to see that they are indeed responding to, well, a lot of claims that PSN accounts are being hacked. Most of the tweets mentioned that the login email address was changed by someone else, or in some cases, even deleted.
Others are reporting that their passwords are being reset, and like TheRealBashy26, some are even having money charged from their accounts to purchase more funds for their PlayStation wallets. What's worse, many of these people have been waiting days for a response and can't reach anybody at PlayStation support via email or by waiting on the phone.
User Brent O'Hara, for example, writes, account hacked, changed email, and £120 spent. Was assured everything was fixed. Nope, more activity just now and still no refund.
Richard Cook 326 added, hi, my PSN account has been hacked and a PayPal charge of £120 taken out of my bank. I should have said quid, 120 quid.
Quid, yeah, it's all about the quids. And, it goes on and on and on. Tweets about being hacked are probably pretty commonplace for the official UK support Twitter account for PSN, so we thought we'd check into whether or not the volume was any different now than it has been in the past.
In general, the account gets around 4,000 tweets sent to them each week, but over the weekend and through yesterday, they received nearly 800 tweets regarding hacked accounts or changed email addresses, and another few hundred have been added to that total just this morning, so we're talking well over 1,000 people in just a matter of days.
That does seem higher than average. Judging from what we've seen, the amount of tweets with those phrases has increased steadily throughout the last few weeks and seem to be getting even more frequent over the last 24 to 48 hours. Some of that is from observation and is a little anecdotal, so you can take it with a grain of salt, but even Ask PS UK acknowledged to some users today that they've been getting slammed with these types of claims.
They've told some users that live chat is backed up and that the email requests to change passwords are delayed. Users are now reporting that the link to reset their password is timing out, with PlayStation UK responding that they'll have to wait up to 24 hours before the service might come back online.
So it should be noted that our data points here are pretty limited. 1,000 tweets over a few days does pale in comparison to the number of overall PSN users in the UK, but it might be the sign of a problem that's starting to grow.
Enough people are hitting up the password change feature that it's causing the whole system to have interruptions, so it's not an insignificant amount of people that have been affected so far, which makes it weird that Sony hasn't officially commented yet and is going out of its way to assure those affected this is just an isolated incident.
Well, sort of, unless they're getting flashbacks to 2011 and they're all in a bunker going, oh god, not again. We reached out to a number of users to see what their experiences were like, and nearly everyone had a similar story. They received an email in the last 24 to 48 hours from Sony that their login credentials had been changed. When they tried to log in to verify, PSN alerted them that their email address was no longer associated with the account.
Not everybody that reported an account breach lost money, but it's definitely happened to quite a few users, usually in the amounts of 120 to 150 euros.
Or quids.
Or quid. Not quids, quid.
I'm sorry, quid.
Oddly enough, when people finally got access to their accounts, some reported that the funds had been used to purchase FIFA 2017 as the game suddenly showed up in their list of trophies.
This was all an elaborate ruse by EA.
It's a crazy viral marketing campaign.
That's probably not the only thing that's being purchased. It wasn't always apparent to the user what had been bought, but when when they did find out, it was always FIFA that was mentioned, oddly enough.
For Sony's part, they're insisting to each individual this is an isolated incident, and from several people we've talked to, they were even treated like the breach was their fault. Sony advised them on how to keep their account more secure and best practices to avoid this happening in the future.
And some have run into problems getting their money or their accounts back. After not hearing from Sony due to high volume, users took matters into their own hands by, issuing chargebacks to PayPal for the unauthorized purchases, which is, pretty common. People do with credit cards a lot when there's an unauthorized purchase, to which Sony responded by locking them out of their accounts.
A few of the people we spoke to checked through various services to see if maybe their email addresses were all part of some recent breach. However, the only trend that showed up was that they were listed in the Patreon breach from October 2015, where more than 2 million emails were leaked, but that was a year ago, and some said they didn't share passwords between the two accounts.
Yeah, so we've reached out to PlayStation UK for comment. We haven't received a response, which is hardly surprising given the subject matter. If we do get one, we will update it in the description. After the big PSN breach of 2011, though, probably terrified of using the words PSN and hack in the same sentence, and they want to investigate all the possibilities first if there is actually some common theme to investigate after all.
It could just be holiday related, more activity.
That's true. Maybe just everyone's really excited about football.
We'll see. That breach of PSN, nice, footy.
Footy, yeah. A little game of footy.
That breach of PSN was, of course, on a much larger scale with 77 million total accounts compromised, which reportedly cost Sony as much as $171 million. At the time, Sony received a lot of criticism for how they communicated with their customers.
Or didn't.
Yeah, the actual breach occurred in late April, with service interrupted for several days, but Sony didn't confirm to customers that their account information had been compromised until May.
Yeah, so Sony being quiet regarding the current claims around PSN UK are a little troubling, as that's how they responded in the past as well. However, the silence could also mean there's nothing really going on at all, and this is just an isolated incident, as Sony has told its users so far.
Again, they probably receive thousands of hacked account complaints every week anyway, but the volume is certainly increasing, especially with it starting to dominate the UK Twitter accounts activity.
But we could be looking at a case where it has nothing to do with Sony at all. Possibly a third party was breached in the UK that revealed account information that happened to be shared with PSN users, or we could be looking at a very specific bug in the UK servers that's giving hackers unauthorized access to other people's accounts. So basically, don't get out the pitchforks yet. There are a lot of things that could be happening. The common theme is simply that a lot of accounts seem to be compromised, and a similar amounts of money are going missing from a lot of those accounts.
Just start getting the torch ready. We'll see. Don't light it yet, though. We'll certainly have to keep an eye on the issue to see if it continues to spread or if Sony makes any kind of official comment on it.
What do you guys think of another possible breach for PSN users in the UK? Let us know in the comments.
For future updates on security breaches and how they affect you as a gamer, like this video and subscribe to the know. It's the most
It's the quid.
wonderful
I know. Hold on, we need to get Gavin over here. Things are top. People have.
Bob's your uncle?
Boys have knobs.
Cludge?
I thought it was clunge.
No.
It's cludge?
Cludge.
Okay. What's a spiff?